Hey guys, welcome to another video on Inside Spurs. On a happy Monday evening to you all. Hope you're all okay. Hope you're all right. I hope you've all had a great start to your working week. In this video, we are talking about the supposed increase of news and interest surrounding Spurs and I guess long-time target Marc Guehi. We're going to be talking about the Morgan Gibbs-White drama, or I guess lack thereof as well at the same time. We'll be talking about Palhinha. We'll be talking about all sorts. All right. So we will get to it. It won't be a long video. I have stuff to do, unfortunately, this evening. So it won't be a long video. Eden, Sonia, Spurs, Adam, and Brett, I guess. Jazz, AJ. Look, let's jump in and let's talk about Marc Guehi. Look, Marc is obviously a target that we've had interest in for what feels like 2 seasons now. Obviously, Spurs had a bid rejected. It was a token bid, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't a legit bid back in January. So the fact it's resurfacing is super boring for myself, if I'm honest. But Matt Law put out that the centre-back position is... the centre-back is a position that Spurs are looking at in the transfer market. They're attending interest in Marc Guehi. And I've made checks on Ilya Zabarnyi, but Liverpool are favourites to sign Guehi, and PSG are basically favourites to sign Zabarnyi. It's not clear whether the interest in Guehi and Zabarnyi relates to uncertainty at Cristiano Romera's immediate and long-term future with the club. Well, I can categorically say now his immediate future is Tottenham next season. We know that Romero isn't moving anywhere unless crazy money comes in for him. We obviously made that bid that was... It was a PR stunt, if I'm honest. It wasn't a legit bid. Zabarnyi has been... I thought Zabarnyi was going to PSG like a month ago. It hasn't really sort of shown its face or anything. Like, hasn't really just got on with anything. I thought it was going to be done. So that's a bit of a weird. But he's also going for about 70 odd million. Obviously, Marc Guehi, 1 year left on his contract. Yes, obviously, he's not going to be worth 70 million this summer whatsoever. We all know that. How much is he worth, though? I guess is a good question. Is it 40? Is it between 40 and 50 million? Obviously, when you throw English tax on there, it's probably about that, somewhere within that realm. This feels just regurgitating of news, though, in my opinion. Like, we could have been more serious on Marc Guehi last summer. We could have been more serious on Marc Guehi earlier than that, to be honest. I don't see it happening. I still foresee Liverpool getting Marc Guehi. There's Canate uncertainty at Liverpool at the moment. I think Marc Guehi to Liverpool makes a ton of sense. I still see that happening. Zabarnyi, I don't see happening whatsoever. I still think he'll end up at PSG. So it doesn't really make too much sense there. Tom, how are we? Terry, Owen, JMP, Richard, how are we all? Look, I don't see anything in those two, to be honest. I guess it's just keeping players' names in the news. That's that. An update on Xavi Simons. Chelsea have open talks to sign Xavi Simons because Chelsea can just spend whatever they want, whenever they want, and apparently there's no issues. How the hell are they going for Xavi Simons? It's like they have an endless pit, don't they? There's an endless pit of money and an endless pit of PSR availability. We sold the caretaker company to Todd Bowley and his company, so that's freed up another 300 million. We actually sold one of the training pitches for 75 million. It's like, it's just crap. It's just absolute crap. The Premier League right now are too scared of Man City and what's going on with them. They're too scared to make any quick judgment on Morgan Gibbs-White and Nottingham Forest throwing their toys out the pram. And they're just too scared of Chelsea to plug the normal holes of PSR. Now, don't get wrong, fair play to Todd Bowley and his team for finding loopholes around such a flawed system. It's a system that Daniel Levy's been championing and we've followed and stuck to, whereas other teams have gone, we're just going to sell assets and that'll cover it. And guess where the assets are getting sold to? Our owner, so it's still within the club, so it's not a big deal. It's how they're getting around it, and it's the spending power that Liverpool, City, and Chelsea are really showing is something else, and this is a thing, signing Kudus and signing Gibbs-White, it's all great and all, but there would have to be another 3 or 4 signings like that just to stay in touch. You've got Florian Wirtz costing 120 million, Gibbs-White and Kudus costs less than that. Then you got Kerkez and then you got Frimpong and, they might be selling Luis Diaz, but they're also trying to sign potentially Rodrigo, Marc Guehi, Ekitike. So great, you're selling Luis Diaz. It doesn't really do anything when you think about the net spend of this summer. Man City spending big money. Chelsea continuously spending big money. I think it's a really interesting point that we signed Kudus and the next day we'd agree a deal for Morgan Gibbs-White. You got to be careful now, though, because I'm not panicking July 21st, nor should anyone panic. It's really boring the amount of Spurs fans that are spouting the same negativity day in, day out, week in, week out. It's the 21st of July. We've played one game of pre-season. Let's not cry about it just yet, shall we? If it's the same thing, if we're looking at a situation we've signed 2 players by August 21st, then yeah, absolutely, I'm with you. But we're in the middle of the July. Let's just settle down. Let's just see how we go into the end of the month. Spurs are working on other deals. Please, for the love of God, don't fall into the stupidity that Twitter has that believes that because Morgan Gibbs-White's stalled, Spurs can do no business. Spurs are still active. Spurs are still doing deals. Spurs are discussing with agents and players and all sorts. Your business does not stop just because of one player. Spurs weren't signing 2 players this summer, were they? No. Cool. So the business hasn't stopped. Just chill. You know what I mean? We don't need a centre backs. We need a left back and number 6. Well, I'll be talking about number 6 in a minute, but we do need a left back. I tell you that. If Sonny leaves, do we think getting another signing on the wing? Because if that happens, I'd take Xavi Simons. Looks like Xavi Simons is probably going to Chelsea. Chelsea treats PSR like it's a game of Monopoly and they're the banker. I think we should be looking to get players in for the 31st of July so they can take them on tour. Well, no, there is that. But what I'm saying is we weren't going to do all our business before then. We've never been like that. We love a bargain basement. We love dragging things into August. And, we got a player signed by the end of August. We saved 1 million on him. It's like, great. Well done, lads. You are legends. No other team, no other big team does that. It's just you, by the way. So fair play. Let's see all the results they've had in the last 20 years of, look, wow, they've won lots of trophies. And okay, we haven't. So, well, no, Daniel likes to win the spreadsheet, so we'll let him have that. Look, Gibbs-White, he didn't go on tour. Let me talk about this quickly. Gibbs-White's not gone on tour. We believe it's something to do with his partner's pregnancy, I believe it was. It's not a big deal. The other key thing on this is player is paid and contracted to a club. Clubs say they want him to go on tour. Player goes on tour. That's normal. If you're upset about that, you probably need to go outside and touch some grass, to be honest. But Rob Dorset from Sky Sports has said that Nottingham Forest's bosses have shut down lines of communication with Tottenham over Morgan Gibbs-White issue. I love this. You want to sign our player. We don't want to sell our player. Well, we've agreed a release clause. No. I can't hear you. They're just a bunch of. I was going to say something a little bit stronger, but YouTube might demonetize me. Bunch of idiots. Marinakis and his little goons. I still expect Spurs to continue on with this deal. And I think it's going to get to a point now. This is coming into the second week. The Spurs go to the Premier League and go, we agreed the release clause. They're now ignoring us. Therefore, they're now going against the football laws. We need to sort this out before it gets serious. They can't just ignore it until the end of the window and go, we forgot our pen. We forgot to respond to you. Sorry. Looks like Gibbs-White's going to stay. It's like, no. You're going against everything that happens in football. It's a release clause. You agree the release clause, player gets sold. Normally. Player has a say in it. And ironically, the player that we're talking about has the say that he has is, I want to go to Tottenham. And they're not in the Forest going, you can't say that, Morgan. We want you to stay. You need to stay. Why do I need to stay? Because we can't sell you because it looks stupid to our fans because we've made the mistake. Super boring. Super boring. I hope we never do business with Nottingham Forest again. It's an embarrassment. Everyone involved. It's an embarrassment for everyone. I hope we never do business with them again. They've acted like children. We've, maybe done something wrong. I don't know. We've probably not covered ourselves in glory, but they've acted like children. He's a stain on the Premier League, if I'm honest, Marinakis. I don't really care anymore. I think he's a stain on the Premier League. I still like Forest, the football club. I do. They're a historic football club. You know, you were talking about one of the biggest clubs in the sort of the 70s, 80s, 90s, a massive club. And this absolute buffoon has dragged their reputation through the mud. Cool, he got him back to the Premier League, got him in Europe. Fair play. He's not their greatest ever owner. I know he thinks he probably is because he thinks the sun sets and rises through his own backside. But he's a jackass. He's just an absolute jackass. Maybe it's because I'm quite tired from a day of work. I just don't have the patience for idiots. And Marinakis, I think, is a bit of an idiot. Like I said, nothing against Forest. I think Forest are a wonderful football club, an absolutely stellar football club, massive football club. I know rival fans of theirs probably wouldn't want to hear that, but all bias aside for them, they're a massive football club with great traditions. You know, they've had some great footballers play for them as well. They've won massive trophies. It's him. The reason you don't like Nottingham Forest isn't Nottingham Forest. It's him. So where I take my frustration isn't at the football club. I take it towards the jackass running it because he is a jackass. Anyway, moving on because I can't be asked, if I'm honest. I'm bored of Morgan Gibbs-White. No offense to Morgan Gibbs-White. Obviously, I'm just bored of their owner. Hence why you take the frustration to the owner. Is Romero going? Nope, he's staying. More stuff from Christian Falk. You know, more stuff saying that, you know, talks are intensifying on Joao Palhinha. You know, yeah, I just can't be asked with Joao Palhinha. It's the amount of fans that go, we should be all over this. Like Joao Palhinha, we should be all over this, right? If I'm honest, I don't think fans have watched Bayern this season. They're living off what his name was a couple of years ago. He has already taken a downward swing on his career. He wasn't good last year. Like, there are so many players who are injured or frozen out of the Bayern Munich squad that had to get brought right back in. He didn't get any minutes. So, look, if I'm honest, it's a weird situation. It's cheap. It's a bargain basement deal, but I personally wouldn't want Palhinha. Look, if Thomas Frank wants the player, then Thomas Frank should get the player. That's the attitude I've always had, as you know, as we all should think like. But really, he's going to be over the hill in what, within 2 years? We're going to be back in the same position again, or we can go get someone who's 23, 24, 25 and not have to worry about it for 5 or 6 years. You know, Gibbs-White does want Spurs, mate. He won't put in transfer requests, things like that, because you forego the rest of your contract, which is about 8 million. So I can give you 8 million reasons why he doesn't want to do the transfer request. Also, he wants to keep it amicable with Nottingham Forest. So, but most important point there, mate, is Gibbs-White does want the Spurs move. But look, on Palhinha, I'm not blown away by it. You know my views on it. I think we could do better. I think we should be doing better. I think this is overpriced, even at his value now. You know, a year ago I was interested in him. Now, I'm just not interested. You know, yeah, not interested. So I was just reading something. Sleeping to the end of the window. Maybe by then Spurs will have signed another player. Don't get hopes up. Would I prefer Wharton for 90 million or Hackney and Palhinha for 90 million? If we sign Hackney and Palhinha for 90 million, sack Daniel Levy, sack Johan Lang, sack all of them. Wharton's better than both of them, and I wouldn't pay 90 million for Adam Wharton, right? Hackney is 15, 20 million. Palhinha is about the same, 40 million. If there is money for Gibbs-White, why can't we just go for Eze? Maybe Thomas Frank doesn't want Eberechi Eze. But it brings me full circle, Chris, because I want to talk about it a little bit. The situation with Marc Guehi, I don't think we're going for Marc Guehi, but if you get a situation where you're like, Gibbs-White in value is similar to Eze, by the way. Like, they are similar value. But if you kind of go, maybe you go the Eze route, it's on the table. It's on the table, you know? So on Gibbs-White, I don't know anymore. I'm not really bothered about talking about him. I think what I might do is I'm probably not going to talk about him until we get a definitive answer of which way it's going to go. Because I think you're probably all bored hearing about Gibbs-White. I'm bored of talking about Gibbs-White. I saw a report that Thomas Frank's interested in Conor Gallagher. I don't think he is interested in Conor Gallagher. I think Daniel Levy and Johan Lang are twerking about Conor Gallagher because that is a club sign. That's not a Frank signing, by the way. Conor Gallagher is a club signing. And you know Atletico go, yeah, you can have Conor Gallagher. But we want Romero. And it's like, we're not talking business then. So, yeah, transfer window's boring now. I was excited after those 2 days, which is, by the way, 10 days ago, stuff was happening. I was super excited to now be absolutely flat as a pancake about this window. NFL training camps are starting up. They are starting up. Patriots got all their rookies under contract. Travion Henderson signed his deal a couple of days ago, I think it was now. So we're in a good spot. Bengals are still doing the Bengals things. Just embarrassing. Tell you what, you should be all grateful for Daniel Levy if you saw the Cincinnati Bengals owners. You'd be welcome. I think Douglas will always be solid. Would you take Jashari? I just don't know enough about him, Chief. Don't know what we are waiting for. In regards to what? Have I watched Hayden Hackney? Some fans are calling him the next Wharton. Yeah, but I'm not paying 70 million for him. He's a championship player. Hope we get some kind of clarity on Morgan Gibbs-White tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, look, I hope so, but if I'm honest, I don't think so. I still have faith that we'll get him, but I don't know where this Man City chat's come from. I've been at work. Unfortunately, I've not been on Twitter at all today, so you know what I mean? Even Philip, you haven't missed too much, to be fair. Spurs need to force the issue. Gibbs-White can't go third week's uncertainty. Spurs seem to be playing the waiting game, don't they? If we sell and buy players like Chelsea do, what is the price of our players when can't we say no to a Mikey Moore? I don't know what you mean, Gamecock Spurs, mate. Would I take Garnacho? Probably not. You're a Bengals fan. Jesus, Richard. Jesus wept. Oh, my God. I feel for you. You're a Spurs and Bengals fan. That is a combo and a half. The Bengals are so alike Tottenham in a weird way because, like, you got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, which is like Kane and Son. You know, you got T. Higgins, who's like another solid player in our squad, like a Romero, right? So you got some really decent players. And then there's just like next to nothing else. They get rid of Joe Mixon for what? Chase Brown's solid, but you know, he's solid. He's not amazing. Got Hendrickson on the defense, and their defense is genuinely one of the shitest defenses I've ever seen. I mean, the Patriots beat them first game of the season, and we're crap, which says everything. Gallagher last year, yeah, when his Paratici ban ended. Yeah, last thing I'd talk about, Paratici's ban has finished. What? Atalanta striker Matteo Retegui has joined Al Qadsia on a 65 million euro deal from Atalanta. thought he was like a top goal scorer in Italy last season or something, wasn't he? That's really odd. That feels a bit weird. But look, yeah, Paratici's ban is officially over. He can return to work or something now as a. But he's also still got the court case, doesn't he? The trial in August. So I don't really think it changes all that much. He still has legal issues over his head. Does Prashy come in above Lang, as in on the board or alongside Scout? I'd assume he'd work with Johan Lang. Prashy, by the way, is not great. He's just not great at his job. I'll be real with you. Did a video a little while ago. I did a video on Johan Lang and what they're all about. Johan Lang's track record is better than Paratici's, and it's not actually that close, which is quite weird. I think Pratici has an aura, a name about him, because he's got wired headphones and he does 8,000 deals at once, but he's not great. Whereas Johan Lang's quiet, looks like a history teacher at school, but he is better. He's better at his job than Paratici. So there you go. I think we need a replacement Slanky. No, we won't be getting a replacement Slanky. You might get someone to help Slanky, but you spent 65 million on him. You're not moving on from him. Fabio's football person might not be the best, but another football person with contacts can't hurt. They were using his by the way, like people seem to think that Paratici was doing nothing for the last, however, was it 30 months? That guy was still working, by the way. Like he was in the advisory role. He was still helping Spurs. He was still, talking to agents and things like that. There's no, like, he was still involved. He wasn't doing the deals, but he was involved. So, if Liverpool say we want more, what is the price? Same with Bergvall, Vuskovic. If we want to make money on players, not always losing money on them. Here we go. Not interested, not interested, and not interested. Yeah, they can get in the bin because those three are going to be absolute rock stars. Pressure hits as well. I'm not saying he didn't have hits as well. But what if you actually compare is his time from when he took over at Juventus to how he finished up with Tottenham. He wasn't really very good. He turned Juventus into the crapshoot that you see right now. Because people go, he was great. Look they won all these titles. Like, yeah, he wasn't running the show. When he took over to run the show, they dipped. So he's not bad. I'm not saying he's terrible, but he isn't as good as Johan Lang. No, I wouldn't say that for a second. Johan is better. What you really want is to get Prashy, get Johan Lang, add them together, and that might be your perfect worker. Might be. We'll see. Look, thank you all so much for joining me this evening. I really do appreciate you kicking around, watching this tired human talk absolute nonsense for 23 minutes. Please go and enjoy the rest of your evenings. Please go and enjoy whatever it is that you're up to this evening. Make the most of the evening. It's a lovely day outside. Please enjoy it, all right? I have to go move some fridge freezers so you can see how my evening's going to go. But yeah, look after yourselves. I'll be back probably later in the week. I'm working very crap hours and very late hours, so probably later into the week, maybe Friday, I'll be back. And look, Philip, enjoy your last day. One more day, mate. You got it. I'll be back, then to talk a lot more about Spurs. And hopefully we talk about the fact that Spurs are closer to signing people. That's all I hope for. Look after yourselves, everyone. Take care. Peace.